So apparently the apocalypse is upon us. Have you missed it? So last year, Ralph Smart declared that the end of the world was going to happen on the 21st of December. Now that he's had his Chicken Little moment, let's review. So obviously the world didn't end on the 21st of December 2020, so naturally Ralph has admitted he's wrong and apologised. Well, not exactly. Not even slightly. It's almost as if it was a cunning plan all along. Let's talk about this. Hey everyone, if you're new here, I'm Andy Fellows and I make videos on cults, skepticism and making sense of life after New Age spirituality. If you're interested in a more grounded and skeptical approach to New Age spirituality, then why not subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. So late last year, Ralph Smart said this.
December 21st, 2020, the world officially ends.
But his excuse for proclaiming the end of the world was imminent left something to be desired.
2020 is actually 2012.
I did do a video explaining exactly why 2020 is 2012 is absolute nonsense. If it's not obvious, just on face value. So you can check that one out after this video if you want to. I've put a link to that in the description. But once he said that, it didn't take him long to start sort of backtracking, or more accurately, sort of sidestepping the implications of what he said. Almost immediately, the big bold headline of "the world is ending" sort of softened into "the world as we know it is ending," which I think you'll agree is a very different assertion. But that didn't stop him releasing videos titled things like "End Times Event," "The Purge is Here," "Extinction Level Event," "End of the World," "I'm shaking right now, it's about to get scarier," "Sign of the Times," "Final Countdown," "The Coming Storm," "It's Apocalypse," which is weirdly phrased, but I think I made my point. The thing is, what you find with these videos is it's the title that grabs you, and then what he says in the videos is both really sensationalist and not at all what the title says. It's the classic bait and switch, right? I mean, come on, Ralph. If you're gonna do clickbait, do it well. Do it properly. Put the clickbait in the title and then write a disclaimer in the description that no one's gonna read. Now, I think we can all agree that the world didn't end on December the 21st, 2020. But did the world as we know it end then? No, the world didn't end in any way that it doesn't every single day on December 21st, 2020. But did it really not end? Now, all of this is to say that between September, when Ralph first made the claim that the world was ending, and December the 21st, when the world was supposed to end, Ralph dodged and weaved his way through his usual preacher-style monologues that I would say can only really be described as largely contentless. And soon, probably when everyone else started to talk about it, he started to weave in the astrology element, because apparently the 21st of December 2020 was also when the Great Conjunction was happening. So the specialness of the day was mounting. In the latter half of the year, when new conspiracy theories were being churned out by the QAnon bullshit machine, Ralph Smart did a kind of Teal Swan-esque sort of Texas sharpshooter move. Basically, he went, "This is what I've been talking about all along," and anything that was bad that he also noticed was basically just proof that what he was saying was right and that everything is planned. If you're enjoying this video, by the way, and you want to help support the channel, then the best way to do that is through Patreon. There's a link to that in the description below. Please consider checking it out after this video and looking at the various tiers, seeing which one's right for you, and maybe getting in on some Patreon exclusive live streaming action. So, at long last, when the day actually finally rolled around, when December the 21st, 2020 was upon us, how did Ralph Smart react? Well, you know, he started off slow with the sort of 2020 is actually 2012 thing. Then he mentions the virus and talks a little bit about the Great Conjunction. And as he's talking, he's kind of reframing it and weaving it into his narrative and basically saying he's right. And then he gives us this gem.
It is the birth of a new era. It is when we catapult ourselves into the fifth dimension, but the inorganic ones want a lot of souls trapped in the 3D.
And the video's hitting all the expected points, you know, the love versus fear, false dichotomy, censorship, spiritual warfare, a little bit of pseudoscience, the chosen ones, seeing through the illusion and catapulting ourselves into the fifth dimension, and all about how the organic ones want to trap souls in 3D. I don't think he does the RoboCop line though, which is unfortunate. I was sad about that. I do like the RoboCop line. But even without the RoboCop line, it's basically the same incoherent inside-out drivel that I've come to expect from Infinite Waters. The whole "the truth is a lie, lies are the truth" kind of stuff that he normally bangs on with. Which does make me wonder, if the truth are lies and lies are the truth, then anytime he says he's telling you the truth, is he secretly telling you he's lying? Maybe you have to be a super deep diver to notice that one, and then you know that everything he says is the opposite to the truth, so that anything that you listen to on the channel, you know, right, that's not true. And then the other thing, maybe Ralph's been right all along, but he's just been doing it in code. As far as the content of the video goes, his message is basically shifting from one of it's coming to it's here. Something Robert J. Lifton talks about regarding ideological totalism and the idea of the apocalypse is this: a strong emotional commitment to apocalyptic world purification. At the forefront of all such encompassing purification is a survivor remnant consisting mainly of members of the particular group, religious or political, making the apocalyptic claim. And you can see this strong emotional commitment in his comment section, I think. Lots of people talking about how they've resisted the nefarious plan of the evil inorganic ones. Thankfully, in this case, we're looking at a pacifistic movement, but it seems that the inevitability of the end was never in question. This, and Ralph's claims that the Matrix is over, I would say is comparable to the Jehovah's Witness end of Satan's system of things, for anyone keeping an eye out for parallels between this and a well-known cult. Not saying it is a cult, but this is a red flag for me. If you're enjoying this video, by the way, please hit the like button. Going forward, what I expect from Ralph in his videos is that rather than saying like the Matrix is over in the body of his videos, he's going to more likely say something like the Matrix is falling, I told you the Matrix is falling, this is the end, this is a sign of the end, that kind of a thing. Even if it is, it's over in the actual titles of his video. And I think he's probably going to start interpreting things that he would have previously interpreted as a sign of the times and that the end was coming, or that that this evil cabal is in control. He's going to start interpreting those things now as a sign that it's over and that the old way's falling and all that kind of stuff. And when bad things happen, they're either A, happening to only the people who aren't the chosen ones awakening to the true reality, having ascended to the fifth dimension, or they're B, a consequence of the inorganic ones vying in a last-ditch effort for any semblance of control over the chosen ones and the unawakened alike. And this, of course, would have to be resisted by the chosen ones at all costs. Because, let's be honest, at the end of the day, in the real world, Ralph's channel's his livelihood. He's got to keep this going somehow. He's not about to fuck off to the French Alps and start a commune. Not just yet, anyway. He's got to keep this going now on his channel. And assuming he can keep up the intensity with this kind of stuff on his channel, at least up until the point where YouTube gets sick of his shit in the same way that other platforms have just got sick of Trump and the QAnon shit, then he's got to find a way to keep this ongoing in a way. Like, once the end is here, what's he got to talk about? His whole channel's built around basically talking about how the end's coming and everything's really bad and people are trying to control you and all that kind of stuff. He's got to flip that narrative somehow into a post the end having come. I mean, if the fact that this video is basically the same as any other video on his channel is anything to go by, I mean, all the same catchphrases are there, and sort of accounting for that change in his message from the end is coming to the end is here or it's happening, it's basically the same, although he's saying it now with more triumphant music, that has to be said. But he's also been known to do that in the past, so. But hey, if it's not broken, why bother fixing it? If his channel's growing and he's raking in the septims, why stop? In hindsight, what this looks like to me is more of a publicity stunt, sort of rallying his followers around a poignant emotional event. To me, it looks like the use of sort of the bold impact of the initial claim that the world is ending, and then a subtle pivoting away from that into something more tenable long term. If done well, I think this kind of a pivot would be unnoticeable to the undiscerning. And if you're used to the kind of content that Ralph makes, where I would say, he's fluffing up what he's saying with catchphrases to make it a little bit more fun and quirky, I guess it never really landed for me. And also, those sorts of thought-terminating cliches, the love versus fear dichotomy, freedom is your birthright, all that kind of stuff, then I would say, if you're used to that, you're probably along for the ride. Again, if you're looking for parallels, it's kind of similar to the Jehovah's Witness Stay Alive Till 75.
That's the year 1975. As one brother put it, stay alive to 75.
They saw like an influx of new members who weren't used to the organization's sort of underhanded gaslighting, so they didn't realize that the narrative was slowly being changed before them. And then when the end of the world didn't happen in 1975, the new members were given new propaganda and may well have thought that, well, maybe we just didn't understand the message before, and now we realize that actually it's something else. And of course, the Jehovah's Witness way of getting out of that was sort of saying, well, some people thought that, but that wasn't what the organization was saying. In Ralph's case, I would say this is a sort of Jordan Peterson-esque bait and switch. It's kind of this, well, I actually said, if you look really closely at what I was saying, what I actually said was that the world as we know it was ending. And what I meant by that was longish gallop that hinders the grappling of any meaning and obfuscates the facts to an end where people feel significant, like they know something, vindicated in their fears, and hopeful. And if you look at Ralph Smart's subscription numbers, you can kind of see that this was a good move for his channel. Like, doing this helped his channel grow. And Ralph's not stupid, he's very good at YouTube. So we might actually see another stunt like this in the near future, to be fair, once this one cools off, obviously. When it comes down to it, as far as I'm concerned, whether it's in part or entirely, I would say that this is kind of Ralph's attempt to stop the growth of his channel plateauing and get a few new subscribers. And when you look at his numbers, that was definitely the result. And whether it was his intention or not, he kind of got his followers in a bit of a frenzy about next to nothing and sort of sent them all pattern seeking over just strange claims and nothing claims as well. All in all, what have we learned? I think we've learned that if you want to say you've survived the apocalypse, all you need to do is make up the apocalypse, and then when it doesn't happen, just say it did. Boom, sorted. As far as 2020 goes, December the 21st was pretty much a normal day. Or was it a normal day? Ralph talked shit on the internet and the world didn't end. Or did it end? No, it didn't end. But did it really? I'm Andy Fellows, I'm here pretty much every Thursday. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell thing so you get notified anytime I upload a video. Please be kind and ask good questions, and I'll see you in the next one.